Before I tell you this story, answer one question for yourself. Do you believe in demonic entities and the paranormal? If not, this real incident that happened to me nearly a month ago might just convince you otherwise. I used to be a skeptic myself, but as they say, life has a way of putting everything in its place sooner or later. By the way, I still have that eerie chat history with my friend archived on my phone, the one our mutual acquaintances, and even the police foolishly dismissed as a hoax. But it was real, and people deserve to know the truth, because it can knock on any of your doors at any moment and do something utterly horrific. I suppose I'll start with how, 3 years ago, after graduating from high school, I moved to the small city of Gary, Indiana, to pursue a degree in law. With money gifted by my relatives, I rented a tiny one-bedroom apartment near downtown, just a short distance from my college. Honestly, for a young student, living alone in a rented apartment is a massive luxury. My stipend was never anywhere near enough, so I had to balance my studies with a job, which was brutal during my first 2 years. But it was exactly because of that part-time job at a warehouse that I met a local girl my age, Iris. We clicked instantly and became very close friends. I'd often walk around the city with her, go to the movies, attend local events, and we texted constantly, keeping up our conversations even from afar. It was right after one of those late-night text exchanges that the nightmare I'm about to tell you began. It started on that ill-fated day when Iris's parents drove out of state to Illinois, leaving her completely alone in the house. I was severely overwhelmed with my studies and shifts at the time, so I admittedly didn't have time for our usual walks. Because of this, all our communication moved entirely online. In fact, it was through the internet that I first learned that people had been actively vanishing in the area for several weeks. State authorities were searching for them, but couldn't find a single trace. Most locals immediately came up with a theory that a serial killer was operating in our backwoods, ruthlessly abducting people. To be honest, like any sane person, I was terrified by the mere thought that a dangerous psychopath was roaming nearby, still at large. Yet I tried to stay optimistic until the very end, hoping it was just another groundless online rumor, and nothing more. Since young, attractive girls are often targeted by stalkers, I couldn't help but warn my friend. I was deeply anxious and worried about her, so I sincerely advised Iris not to go outside after dark until the police figured out these chilling disappearances. Following my protective message, I was immediately labeled a paranoid overreactor and mocked for over an hour. However, she still took my advice and promised to stay inside during the evenings, for a week or two until things quieted down. That was our agreement. That same evening, I worked my shift until closing, dreaming of getting home as fast as possible to take a shower and find something interesting on YouTube. Tomorrow was Sunday, a long-awaited day off, meaning I didn't have to go anywhere. Soon, my shift ended, and after shedding the tedious uniform, happy but bone-tired, I took the bus home, pushing all the unpleasant news out of my mind and mentally tuning into relaxation mode. Once in my apartment, showered and refreshed, I started cooking a simple student supper, fried pancakes with milk, which my dad used to make for me when I was a kid. The rest of the evening until late into the night, especially after dinner, was spent surfing the web and getting lost on YouTube, watching my favorite horror videos and various internet urban legends, which the web is absolutely crawling with. Sometime around 1 in the morning, when I was already quite drowsy and getting ready for bed, I unexpectedly received a voice note from Iris, who would usually be fast asleep by that hour. As you probably guessed, ignoring it would have been a grave mistake on my part. Switching my browser tab to the social media app, I listened with half-closed eyes to what my friend had sent.
Mark, you've completely forgotten about me with your job and college, haven't you? If we aren't hanging out, at least text me to let me know how you're doing. I'm bored out of my mind. My parents went away, leaving me all alone in the house, and I can't get a single word out of you.
Come on, don't be mad, I replied. I just wanted to zone out on the internet for a bit, watch some videos, just switch off and escape from reality. I've been so exhausted this past week that I'm afraid Sunday alone won't be enough to recover.
Mark, you can escape from whatever you want, but not from me. I'm sorry, but that is the harsh law of friendship. Now hurry up and tell me how your day went. What's new? I'm dying to know.
Iris, I still don't get why you're up so late. You're usually out cold by this time.
Yeah, good luck sleeping. First of all, I'm alone in the house with zero protection, which already feels weird. And second, I can't shake the simple fact that right now, a kidnapper might be roaming the city looking for his next victim. And that, scares the hell out of me.
Why are you scared? You're sitting inside, behind locked doors. Or do you think he's going to climb through your window?
Oh, whatever. Keep laughing. Sure, you're a guy. Psychopaths are hardly going to target you. But I'm a girl, and a fragile one at that, so I have every right to be scared. Anyway, enough about killers, or I'll never fall asleep. Let's talk about something else.
No, Iris, I'm hitting the sack. I actually wanted to sleep early tonight to make the weekend feel longer, but I lost track of time again. Let's text tomorrow, my eyes are glued shut.
Fine, good night then. I'm gonna watch a movie, put on some solid comedy, maybe the fear will back off.
Go for it. Sleep tight. Regrettably, hitting the sack early tonight was absolutely not in the cards, because as soon as I brushed my teeth and crawled into my cozy, warm bed, another voice note arrived from Iris. But this time, it came with an exclamation mark. We usually did that if the news was urgent and couldn't wait, just to grab attention even if one of us was already drifting off.
Mark, something incredibly bizarre is happening in my yard, and I desperately need to share it with someone. My parents are definitely asleep by now, but you aren't. Please reply.
What is it now?
Hugh, thank God you're still awake. All right, listen, I was just sitting here watching the movie, minding my own business. Then, out of nowhere, I felt like making some tea, so I went to the kitchen. Out of habit, I glanced out the window. Mark, there's a total creep outside in a coat and a wide-brimmed hat running across the yard, blatantly staring into the windows of the neighboring houses, like he's searching for someone. It actually made me feel deeply uneasy.
Right. Look, that's not normal. I hope you turned off the lights in the house.
What, do you think I'm an idiot? Of course I did. Last thing I need is for this freak to see where I live.
Even if he does, you're not in danger. Don't forget there are neighbors all around. Besides, a killer wouldn't look for his next victim so conspicuously, with so many potential witnesses nearby. So you can safely go to bed. I said this while holding down the microphone button on my phone, hoping Iris would take my advice. But unfortunately, no miracle happened. Almost instantly, a new message arrived, and thanks to my iron patience, I decided to listen to it.
Mark, I think he saw me.
How? You said you turned off the lights.
I did, but it's something else. At one point, this guy literally began sniffing the air, tilting his head back like he caught a scent. And then he snapped his head right toward my window and started staring straight at me. I panicked and hid behind the wall almost immediately, but I think he still saw me. Mark, I'm terrified. What if it's the killer everyone's talking about?
Okay, relax. Can you check if he's still there? I'll call the police in the meantime. Let them pick up this creep and interrogate him about why he's peeping into windows at night.
Wait, hold on a second. I don't see him anywhere. He vanished into thin air, I swear. God, I was so freaked out I was genuinely ready to call the cops myself. I've definitely never seen weirdos like him in our city before.
Well, what can I say? All's well that ends well. Can I finally go to sleep now?
All right, fine. But tomorrow we are definitely continuing this conversation, okay?
Yeah, no problem. Of course we will. Just don't let some idiot ruin your nerves. And definitely don't worry your parents. If anything happens, text me right away and we'll deal with it. Deal?
Deal. Thank you for the support, Mark. You're a true friend. Good night for real this time.
Same to you, I replied, finally setting my phone aside and rapidly sinking into a deep sleep. The following Sunday flew by completely unnoticed, as it usually does. I managed to hit the grocery store, stock up on essentials for the next couple of days, and checked off several other important tasks I had scheduled. Only by evening, entirely free at last, could I truly enjoy my day off, eating my favorite ice cream and watching another Hollywood movie. Time slipped away, and admittedly, I was starting to forget about that mysterious incident with my friend the night before. I kept enthusiastically watching movie after movie, catching up on lost time. However, just like yesterday, around 1 a.m, another message arrived from Iris. Judging by her voice, she was completely on edge and severely alarmed by something.
Mark, are you asleep? I found out new details about that stranger in the hat from last night. Reply immediately. This is critical.
What happened now? Don't tell me he paid you another visit?
Not yet, but from the looks of it, it's only a matter of time.
Look, I don't get it. Can you explain clearly what happened?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just periodically glancing out the window just in case. Anyway, today while you were relaxing, I dug around the internet trying to find any info on that strange man who came into my yard last night, and as it turns out, it wasn't a man at all.
What do you mean? How is it not a man? Who was it then? A two-legged alien in a hat?
You idiot! I am not in the mood for jokes right now. Are you going to listen to me or not?
All right, sorry. I thought you were messing around. But I can hear in your voice that it's serious. Please go on.
Yes, Mark, you're right. It's incredibly serious. So I searched the web thoroughly today and found a story from a guy who went out onto his balcony for a smoke one night and saw the exact same entity in his yard. The description matches perfectly. Towering height, a bizarre wide-brimmed hat, a long coat, and predatory habits. According to his account, doors are absolutely no obstacle for this entity. That's why hiding from it is entirely useless. Your only option is to run without looking back. Mark, I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. I just want to break down and cry.
Hey, listen to me. Why are you panicking out of nowhere? Calm down right now. First of all, trusting the very first source you stumble upon online is completely foolish. People write such absolute garbage there that even a well-adjusted adult would get freaked out. Second, if that creep in the coat comes back to your yard, we'll call the police instantly, and they will catch him. Just keep me updated, okay? I'm staying up.
Okay, thank you for being there.
With a peaceful mind, I went back to my movie, completely unaware of the sheer horror I was about to endure in the near future. The moment I was about to shut down the computer to go to bed, since Monday meant a heavy day of classes and work, another voice note suddenly flew in from my friend, this time with 3 exclamation marks. Without wasting a single second, I played it.
Mark, he appeared out of nowhere. He's standing in the yard again, staring at me. But this time, he's right under my windows. I think history is repeating itself.
Fully realizing the gravity of the situation, I immediately dialed 911 and urgently dispatched a police patrol to my friend's address. I didn't bother sending voice notes back. It was too slow and ineffective. Instead, to maintain control over the situation, I chose to call Iris directly to keep her grounded until the sheriffs arrived. Iris, hello. The police are on their way. They'll catch this freak soon. How are you holding up? Please talk to me.
I'm fine, holding on, well, as fine as I can be. Okay.
That's good. Very good. What is he doing?
He's just standing there, doing the same thing, staring at me. I can't see his face, but for some reason, I feel like he's smiling.
Let him smile while he can. Let's see how he laughs when he's sitting in the back of a cruiser with brave guys in uniform.
Mark, I don't know why, but I am 100% certain that the police won't stop him. You have to understand, this isn't a human, it's some kind of hellish abomination. It doesn't belong in our world, yet it's here. Wait, the police. They're here. I see the cruiser in the yard. Mark, please, don't stop talking. Say something. Dear God, what is happening? What's going on down there?
Iris, what's happening?
Mark, it tore them apart with its bare hands into pieces. Now it's walking to the porch. Mark, it's coming for the door.
A horrific crash echoed through the receiver, and then the line went dead, replaced by a heavy, hollow static hum. Iris, hang on! I screamed into the phone at the disconnected call, frantically throwing on my jacket and shoes. Slamming the front door behind me, I sprinted out of my building as fast as my legs could carry me, heading straight toward my friend's address. I'll be completely honest. Running block after block through the pitch-black streets of Gary, I was terrified. I knew perfectly well that I could easily lose my life, but that didn't stop me for a second. A single thought kept spinning in my head. I had to save my friend. Soon, upon reaching the scene, I involuntarily witnessed a gruesome sight that still hasn't left my mind. On the street, right next to the police cruiser, 2 mutilated, headless bodies in uniform lay in a massive pool of blood. Evidently, the very patrol that had arrived in response to my emergency call to help Iris. The service vehicle was mangled, as if a semi-truck had plowed into it at full speed. To my absolute bewilderment, I also noticed that the massive front door of the house had been literally ripped out of its concrete frame from the porch. This only proved that the entity was non-human. Humans simply do not possess that kind of strength. Standing on the street for a little longer to gather my courage, I decided not to wait for backup, which, judging by the distant sirens, was already on the way. I chose to check the house myself, because in my mind, every second counted. Before long, as I quickly rushed up to the top floor and stepped inside the apartment, a new wave of terror washed over me. But this time, it wasn't for myself. It was for my friend. I understood perfectly clear. Iris could not be saved. It had ruthlessly taken her away, leaving behind nothing but chaos, destruction, shattered windows, and those very police heads, neatly laid out on the kitchen floor. Apparently, the entity had hurled them into the bedroom window, straight from the street, shattering the glass. Nearly a month has passed since that bloodthirsty entity abducted Iris. The only thing I have left to remember her by is her abandoned social media page, and this haunting audio dialogue. I don't know why, but I periodically replay fragments of it on my recorder, reliving the bleak events of that fatal night over and over again. Admittedly, I thought the horror would end on that note, allowing me to start my life over with a clean slate. But unfortunately, my plans were not meant to be. Last night, a new voice note suddenly arrived on my phone from Iris's account, sent from the very phone that had vanished without a trace along with her that day. I don't know if it was stupidity or curiosity, but I decided to listen to it anyway for a fleeting moment sparked with hope that maybe Iris was still alive and needed my help. But she definitely wasn't the one who sent it, because when I played the voice note, through a heavy blood-curdling screech, I heard a foreign dead voice.
You're next. Official report of the Somnia Bureau, file status logging date, November 12th, 2018. Reporting officer, Agent 49. Clearance level, 3, protocol vector watch. Nature of the entity and threat. The entity, classified in civilian sources as the Hat Man, has been identified by the Bureau as an isolated Class 5 spatial entity, the cognitive harvester, executing a cyclic extraction of biological targets. The primary vessel in this current cycle was civilian Iris M, locked onto by the entity during a coordinate scan of residential Sector 12 in Gary, Indiana. The anomaly utilizes a method of targeted spatial isolation of the victim, followed by the physical evacuation of the target from the material dimension. On the 30th day following the disappearance of the primary vessel, a vector shift was recorded. Subject Mark R became the anomaly's new priority target due to his cyclic playback of archived audio logs, which triggered a frequency resonance. The voice note received by the subject has been classified as a terminal fixation marker. Operational results and containment measures. On the night of the Phase 3 breach, the local reality stability ratio, ERSR, dropped to 0.00%. Civilian response assets, namely officers Walker and Evans, were liquidated by the entity via structural tissue separation. The displacement of body fragments to the upper floor of the residential building has been ruled a local distortion of ballistic laws at the moment of the material membrane collapse. For the civilian population and the press, the incident has been masked by the county department as a severe utility gas explosion with subsequent partial collapse of the building's load-bearing structures. Residential Sector 12 has been fenced off and placed under a federal hazard designation. Due to the necessity of collecting unique telemetry, the Omega-class amnestic protocol regarding subject Mark R has not been activated. His consciousness and memory remain unaltered. Remote monitoring of the subject's personal devices is impossible due to critical spatial distortion in the immediate sector. The Bureau has assumed a position of passive frequency surveillance via external directional ambient intel detectors capturing residual echo signals from the epicenter. The anomaly in the sector remains active. The external perimeter of residential Sector 12 remains isolated. The current reality stability ratio is maintained by the compliance script at 99.9%, strictly outside the protective barrier to prevent further expansion of the vector. Case status: open//subject to passive monitoring. Unauthorized playback of this file without archive clearance is punishable by termination. End of recording.